Hello and welcome to Rick's Picks. We are about to enter a triple journey into next draft queue here. If you have read my articles before, you will be aware that I love triple small set drafting. So let's get to it. Alright, so our options here should be the Hero's Bane, which, as impressive as it is a kind of a big mana sink that can just be chump blocked, so I'm not terribly excited about it. We have our Riptide Chimera, which is pretty good. I have played with it before. Nyx Infusion is awesome, but I think the card that I like the most here is Ekron Mastiff. From my limited experience with this format, white aggro tends to be pretty good. White-red generally, with cards like this one. Really like this guy. So I think I'm gonna take the Mastiff. It's actually good in aggro, it's good in control, it's good in pretty much any deck. Tappers are always worthwhile. So you got a Master of the Feast, which I'm not looking to pick here. It's not really good in this format, I don't think. I mean, it could be pretty good, but it's too risky. Could be pretty good though, right? I mean, one extra card per turn, you kill him in 4 turns. From turn 3, yeah, maybe it's good. But I think I'm gonna pass. I think I'm gonna take actually a Warwing Siren, which is this format's version of the 2/2 white flyer guy from Theros that I forgot the name right now. And I actually do like playing with a bunch of Strive spells so that I can get the best out of Heroic. It's the best card here, I think. I mean, I could take a plunge with the Master there. Alright, so Hour of Need. It's an interesting card, definitely. But there's a Quarry Colossus. Also a Font of Fortunes. I think I'm gonna take the Colossus because it is, it's pretty much a Shriek Maw of sorts, right? That removes the creature, and since it offers you a very sizable body, it will often be able to allow you to just finish the game while they wait to draw it. Or it can at least, help you not lose by, taking their best creature if you're behind. So that's what I'm going to take, I think. I wouldn't mind getting back Font of Fortunes, Seeds, Pin to the Earth, or the Hour of Need, although I don't think any of those are coming back. There's a Golden Hand here too, which is pretty good. But I'll take the Colossus. Alright, I have no idea why this thing says removed here. Seen it before, it's just super weird. There's a Noriads, which is red, I'm not gonna take it. Whitewater Naiads is pretty good, granted. This thing is okay-ish. But the best card here for me, I think, is the Eagle of the Watch. If I'm, looking to be blue-white, I will want to have a lot of flyers. So let's take it. Alright, Super Elite Mastiff, which should be pretty good indication that white is wide open. And there's also this thing, and there are a bunch of blue cards. Hubris, Trident Cavalry. Return target enchantment to its owner's hand. I wouldn't mind having this guy in my deck, but the Mastiff is just so good. I cannot pass it. I also would want a couple of supply line cranes, since it's a flyer, it's a good one at that. But I think the Mastiff is just better. Alright, so here we could take another heroic guy, and this guy actually has impressed me because there are a lot of aggro decks in this format, so 1 mana 0/4 that can get big later on is definitely something you should look into at least. A bunch of black cards. There's this guy again. This guy's good, but I'm gonna take the Agenis Presence because there aren't many heroic enablers in this format, sadly. So you gotta value them accordingly. Alright, the Hubris is an easy pick here for me. The Pin to the Earth too, but I think Hubris is generally better. Alright, a third Acheron Mastiff or a second Siren. Now I'm not sure what I should do here. I mean, there's no way I can give a good signal here. I'm gonna pass at least a Hubris and a Pin to the Earth. But I'm not sure if I take the Mastiff or the Siren. I think I want to take the Siren just because it's cheaper and I have two Mastiffs already, and you know there are less heroic creatures in this format. So, alright. Speaking of heroic creature, this guy is actually okay. And see, like if I had taken the Mastiff in the last pack, I'd be less inclined to take another 4-drop here. However, all of that could be moot thanks to the fact that I have this guy here as a 2/2, 4/2, and I think I'll be able to get this later on. I would rather focus on the worthwhile heroic guys for now. Phalanx Formation. It's kinda expensive. I'm not sure if I'm gonna take it. But oh well. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it, but I'll definitely take it. It's probably the card that I want the most there. And I got the Fund of Fortunes back, so that's good. Font of Vigor, Counterman. Let's take the Counter Magic. Alright, so I get the Cavalry back. That's pretty cool. Alright, pack 1 was, unspectacular, but it was, fair. I got a bunch of very okay cards here, especially the Mastiff and the Colossus. Let's see what pack 2 holds. Alright, speaking of great heroic targets, Dawnbringer Charioteers. Other cards that I would want here are the Sigil Starfish and the Cloaked Siren, but I don't think it's really a contest. This guy is just insane. It's kind of a Baneslayer Angel. Okay. Here, I think it could take like a Cranes or an All Seeds, but I think I'm gonna take the Agenis Presence. It's one of the best heroic enablers in the format, I think. Making creatures indestructible is quite the beatdown sometimes. But yeah, especially since I first picked this thing, I definitely want ways to trigger it. Okay, so here we get this guy and we get this guy. I think we have oh, there's an aerial formation too, which is pretty good. Thassa's is pretty good, but it's not as broken as I thought it would be. It's a huge mana sink. It's not every turn that you get to do that, to activate its ability. One great thing about this card is that people often forget that they untap. So you just refuse to tap their creature, they attack, and before declaring blockers, you just untap your biggest guy and block them. I've done this a couple of times at this point. I think I'm gonna take the Swift Claw. We need 2 drops. Yeah. Alright, Ages of the Gods. Another Agenis Presence, but here I'm gonna take a Flyer. Flyers are always some of the best cards you can hope to get. I wouldn't mind having one of those either. Neither one of those. We shall see soon enough here, but I don't think I can test the Flyer now. Okay, another one of these. We got a Nigger of the Watch, but again, I'm thinking about my mana curve at this point. I could also take a Shore Stalker, but not really, right? Like, we don't really have any bestow in this format. There are very few bestow cards, so this gets significantly worse. I'm gonna take this guy because I got a bunch of flyers that are largely better than the Eagle in my deck, so I want to have an early offense with that guy. And here, yeah, here I think I'm gonna take an Eagle. Not taking this thing over an Eagle, I don't think. There's this thing, there's a font. Alright, I got quite a few creatures. Okay, so another Font of Fortunes and another Swift Claw. So we could end up being quite the beatdown deck at this point here. I do want to get a couple more heroic enablers though. Let's take the Rise of the Eagles. I could even play it. This thing is scary, by the way, but you know, with the Mastiffs and stuff, I think I'm ready for it. Alright, one more flyer. Here, I guess I could take this thing just because it would be a nice sideboard card to have. Or I could take the All Seeds, which is okay. I don't have a lot of enchantments, but it's a nice body and I could end up playing it. Okay, Aerial Formation over Trailblazer and Thessazire. Trailblazer or Mortal Obstinacy. You know, I really do like the Trailblazer. It has impressed me in my last draft. Actually, I do like this thing too. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I think I can get another Trailblazer later on in an easier way. Alright, this is actually not bad. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it, but it's nice to at least have the option to. Alright, go pack 3. Well, here we have a Ferica, and well, I think I'm going to have to pass on the Reprisal because I believe this thing is kinda expensive. Let's take a look. Well, people are buying Ferica for 2 tickets, which is not much, right? So I think I would rather have a Reprisal. It's an insanely good card against many decks, especially the green decks. So yeah, let's pass the Mythic, right? Yep, let's take a Reprisal. I think people are gonna be pleasantly surprised. Okay, extinguish all hope. Now my question is, do I take the cranes here, or do I take this extinguish all hope? That is certainly a card that I don't want to see played against me. So maybe I take it and not the cranes. It's not like the cranes can activate heroic, right? And well, I already passed a Ferica. I'm not helping the guy build the nut black deck, so I think I'm gonna take it. Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to grab a crane later on. Okay, here I'm definitely taking the swordfish. I know it does seem defensive, but it's not as defensive as a card like this, for example, which is only good in defensive decks, pretty much. This guy can help smooth out your mana curve in amazing ways. So that's probably what I'm gonna take, I think. Yeah. Alright, Reprisal number 2, you say? Yeah, definitely taking it. Another Cavalry, but I would rather have a removal spell, I think. And here's another Mastiff. Alright, well, we're gonna have a bunch of of decisions to make regarding this deck. We have way more good cards than we are able to play. I'm gonna take this guy, I think, or maybe this guy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take this guy because it's, you know, like I said, Bestow is not very common. I do have a very aggressive deck, so this should fit right in. And the Bestow here is actually, you know, pretty cool, pretty good. Because I don't think I'm gonna be attacking Elan a lot of the time. And if I only have a creature, I can play it as a 3/2. Yeah, let's take it. Okay, well, here I think I'm gonna try to hate draft something. No, this is bad. This is actually pretty good. This is okay too. I think I'm gonna take this here just because it's an uncommon and it can lead to quite the blowout. It's card advantage. Not really interested in any of the cards that are in my colors here, or I have more options than I can play. Huh. Another Mastiff. Man, what is happening here? No one is drafting white, pretty much, I think. But here I'm going to take the Nautilus because, you know, it not only can target one of my creatures if I need to, but usually will target one of their creatures, and then they will be the target of an Akron Mastiff ability, for example, or one of the strives of the Agenis Presence. Then I'll go ahead and just kill him. So yeah, let's take it. Pin to the Earth, Font of Fortunes. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a Pin to the Earth for my sideboard. It's the card that I most see myself bringing in here. Alright, Font of Fortunes, not really interested. Another Pin to the Earth, but I think I could just take this thing here. If someone is in blue, green, they want this, definitely. Not sure. Yeah, it's a flash creature. It's kind of annoying, so let's hate it. And we did get back a Supply Line Crane, so let's take it, even though I don't think I'm gonna play it after all. This thing. I think I'm gonna take the early Defender here. And this guy has a big butt, which is bad against my deck. I mean, which is good against my deck. Bad for me. Riptide Chimera. Yeah, let's do the Chimera. Alright, so we have some work to do here. Let's see. Okay, so we have 24 cards here. I took out some of the borderline cards that I could bring in, like the Trident Cavalry or the Iconoclast. If they have a lot of enchantments and enchantment creatures, I get to bring those guys in. There's also a Mortal Obstinacy that is good against enchantments. Took that guy because it doesn't really work with my deck that well. I don't have a bunch of enchantments, I have some. So I'm not comfortable playing with 16 lands here in this deck. The last blue-white deck that I built, I have like 3 drafts in this format under my belt, and the blue-white deck that I did play was my one win in the format. It was the time when I took the actual draft down, and I played 16 lands, but I did not have something as expensive as this guy, and I had 2 or 3 Starfishes, because this guy really helps you smooth out your mana curve. So I'm not sure what I should take here. I don't want to take any of the enablers, nor any of the super aggressive creatures. This thing draws me cards, this thing destroys things. The Hubris, Nautilus, Eagle of the Watch. Yes, I'm not sure what to take out. I think that the worst creature here should be the Supply Line Cranes. But I guess, like, yeah, well, it's a flyer, but I do have a bunch of flyers already, so I don't really need it, and it is slightly expensive. I would rather have at this point, I think, these guys. They are, they are great heroic targets, and they are much cheaper. So yeah, I think this is gonna be it. Let's sort by color. I think a 9/8 should be okay, or maybe 10/7, right? Nah, like, I really want to play Starfish on turn 2 if I get it in Font of Fortunes, if I have nothing else to play. So yeah, let's keep it 9/8 and see where that gets us. I think right now I'm kinda disappointed that I did not take the Fairy card, because I could just not have another reprisal here. But oh well, let's see how we fare.